The Daniel Defense H9. I can tell you right now, this ain't the Hudson H9. Let's go to the range and shoot it. All right, y'all. The Hudson H9 Daniel Defense. This is the first rounds. My affiliation with Daniel Defense, none. I bought this gun so I could get my own opinions. And this will be part one of a two-part review on the H9. Let's shoot it. Wish me luck. To understand the history, or to understand Daniel Defense's approach to the H9, I think you have to go back in time to 2017 to a small town called Temple, Texas. Before I tell you about this story, let me tell you about what we do here at RDR. We're a soft goods manufacturer. We specialize in plate carriers, placards, chest rigs, a full line of canine gear, survival holster mods, holster wraps, holster accessories, all which you can find on our website at rdrgear.com. 2017, Temple, Texas. A husband and wife team, Cy and Lauren Hudson, decide to start a gun company. They get some funding, and next thing, Hudson Manufacturing is born. The first time I saw the Hudson was at SHOT Show 2017. It was like the two little card tables, and I can't remember what floor it was on, but that was literally the talk of the town for all 3 days of SHOT Show. The booth was just packed. The aisleway where you walked down, you couldn't get through. It was just all anybody could talk about was the Hudson H9. And when you first saw the gun, it wasn't very attractive. It wasn't very pretty. And it sure as hell didn't last very long, because shortly after the gun released, roughly a year later, guns started breaking, parts weren't getting replaced, they couldn't fix the pistols, and therefore, very shortly after, in 2019, Hudson Manufacturing was done. Daniel Defense swoops in, purchases all the patents, all the information, all the technology, all the parts and pieces. And I think they probably threw that in the trash, because what they came back with is not a Hudson H9. So you guys, I'm gonna break this review down in two parts, because there are a lot of questions, things like, is it worth the money? What's it shoot like? Is it an H9? Well, I'm gonna do this part one review with you guys on the actual H9 from Daniel Defense. But we'll have this gun with a red dot, and we'll compare it in an RDS format. We'll have a couple different EDC guns, M&P 2.0, maybe a 320, Glock 19, etc. We'll keep them in the relative same footprint as this gun. And probably Christian will jump on the camera as well at that point in time. He'll shoot some, considering he's never even seen anything in this particular pistol. And we'll give you guys a little comparison. In that video, I'll give you my final thoughts. We'll do a lot of shooting, a lot of in-depth comparisons between the two guns. But today we're gonna talk about why this gun is what it is, the amount of time, energy, and resources Daniel Defense put into designing it, and honestly, after shooting it, why I actually like it. All right, so grips, right? These are two panels held in hex screws, similar to a 1911. I'm sure you're gonna see some aftermarket panels being offered here very shortly. It is a bobbed frame, and this is where it's a little different, because this is where it gets you into the 15-round magazine. The Hudson H9 magazine, we'll discuss that later, but was roughly yay longer than this version here. Daniel Defense definitely is pushing the concealed carry market with the H9, and it fits that role very well. You have a 1913 rail that's slightly different, raised up further. One thing I can tell you guys right now, there is no way the H9 with weapon light will ever have any Safariland compatibility or active retention compatibility. It's just not designed for that. So that's something there. I've tried it. It will not work. So that's going to be what it is. The trigger is what's very unique about this gun and what everybody talks about. So the trigger is basically a straight back trigger pull, very similar to a 1911. It has kind of a dingus here, kind of like a Glock, but once you engage that, you are now free. You'll notice how the safety is it's fixed at the bottom and you have to depress from the top. The gun sits very, very deep in the hand. You'll see how that looks right there. And once you are off that little dingus, the trigger pulls straight back to the rear. Trigger is not light by any means, and the reset is not light either. For me, and could be something with my readers on and shooting irons, I present the gun slightly high. Today's shooting, I was holding center and I was shooting slightly high. When I would hold 6 o'clock of center, rounds were dead center. So once I get the red dot on the gun, that's going to give me some direction in regards to this grip and trigger. Because once you do depress the trigger, if you for some reason depress a dingus and your finger slides down, the gun will still fire. You kind of need to get on that trigger, keep it high at the top, and press straight back to the rear. So the trigger would be something, if you guys look at this gun for an EDC pistol, you're going to have to do a little bit of time with the trigger, right? That's just going to be the case. Holsters are coming on board. I know TXC is making one for Daniel Defense. I believe you can get them through the website at DD, or definitely hit Tyler and his team up at TXC. They make some really killer products, and they make a holster that's currently, it is an appendix carry holster only from them. I think you can convert it to IWB, don't quote me, but things like outside the waistband are currently not something you're gonna have yet for the H9. I assume more holster makers will bring one on board as this pistol grows in popularity, which I believe it will. You're gonna have more options in the future. The slide on the H9, very different than its predecessor. As I mentioned, Glock 19 length, red dot compatible. I really like what Daniel Defense did here. They used a very good quality set of iron sights out the box. So that way, now at least I can use this gun very well. The fiber optic front, blacked out rear. I really like the checkering in the blacked out rear. It's very easy to pick up and line up, and very, very well done there. What I'm really irritated with is why companies can't just send a damn RMR plate with every gun. Just standardize it. You know that 99% of us are running an RMR or Holosun or a variant of an RMR footprint. Just send the RMR plates as is. If you want an Acro MPS or whatever the hell you want to run after, then get those people to wait. But I'm 10 days in on a plate on a gun I've had for 10 days. I literally got an email notification that says your order went from processed or received to processed, and that's it. It's been 10 days. Why these things take over a week to ship, I have no clue. It's very aggravating in that aspect of it, but it is what it is, right? There's not much you can do about it. But I definitely would like to get the plate so I can shoot this gun more. It really does shoot as soft as reported. I just would like to have the RMR on there because of my old man eyes. Very well done in regards to the anti-glare, serrations up top, and the fiber optic front, blocked out rear. So a lot of people are gonna ask who this is for. It's obvious that Daniel Defense, when they took over the H9 and really did an amazing job at rebuilding this pistol. When I saw it at SHOT Show, it didn't really hit me like it did today shooting it. I literally got this gun 2 days ago. I don't have a relationship with Daniel Defense. I went out and purchased this pistol because I wanted to see the hype of myself, right? Since I had owned an H9, when that pistol was having problems and people reporting failures, a buddy of mine really wanted it. If you look at the Hudson H9 as an overall, right, this pistol is gonna, number one, drive the EDC market. It's going to be compared to a Glock 19 MP 2.0, that size pistol frame, mid-size, 15 round, 4-inch-ish slide. Availability, I do not know. This was not in stock of my distributor. It was an allocation to him. He called me. I purchased this gun outright for this review and to kind of get an idea of what others were talking about, because I just didn't at first believe there was the hype around the gun that was real, because everybody who was pom-poms and Kool-Aid got one from Daniel Defense. So I went out and bought one. I don't have a relationship with Daniel Defense yet. Maybe this is video. That'll change. But I really, hats off to you guys for my first impressions, part 1 of this part 2 video. You guys knocked it out of the park. Very well done, taking what was a very rough project from the start with the Hudson H9 originally, and taking your time, revamping the gun, making it much easier takedown, everything about the gun is better than the original. So when you guys are out there, when you hear those, oh, it's just a revamp of the H9, of the Hudson, it's not. This is Daniel Defense's version of a pistol that never succeeded and should have been built a different way. Daniel Defense came to the table and did it right. So kudos to you guys. This ends part 1. I'm not going to give you guys a kind of a final thoughts on this portion yet. We'll combine both videos together. You'll be able to see them in 2 back-to-back segments. And at that time, I'll give you guys my kind of final thoughts. If you guys like the content here in the channel, you like what we do, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. It'll tell you the next time we upload a future video, especially it'll tell you when we upload part 2. Be well, guys. Take care.